All right, guys, Keith Archer again, Ultimate Shrimp Cure, Ultimate Shrimp Cure High Octane, and Ultimate Egg Cure. Back again today. We're going to talk a little bit about Spring Chinook. I know it's still winter steelhead season. It's February 4th, 2025, but I got Spring Chinook on my mind. We've had some nicer weather. Yes, it's cold, but I've seen some flowers. I've seen buds on trees. It's starting to get the brain going. So what do? Time to make some bait. Okay, so what are we going to make today? We're going to make some Coon Shrimp. We're going to make it with the Ultimate Shrimp Cure High Octane and also the Ultimate Shrimp Cure formula. I've had a lot of questions about who likes what, which particular ones are the best. Again, I'm a guy that comes to the river with 3-4 different quart jars full of coon shrimp, different smells, different formulas. I think it's very important to stay versatile. Don't lock into one thing. Yes, there's certain chemicals in these that definitely entice the bites. Are specific to Spring Chinook, Fall Chinook, but yeah, don't wrap yourself into it too tightly to where you leave yourself some versatility. So be ready to come to the river with 3-4 different blends. I do have some previous episodes that you can go back to on the Ultimate Shrimp Cure YouTube channel here from last year, from 2024, that are very successful formulas that you can go back and watch again if you choose to. So moving forward, let's cure some coon shrimp. All right, so we've got 2 jars here. One is the Ultimate Shrimp Cure High Octane, one is the Ultimate Shrimp Cure. Okay, I've pre-measured about 4 ounces of cure out of the bottle. All right, so what is that? 4 ounces of cure is about a half a cup. So short, sweet, and simple, just under a half a cup. Do this outside. I always wear gloves. There's very strong dyes in this, so outside, don't get it on the countertops, don't get it on tables, don't get it in your sinks, those sort of things, because it will stain. All right. Moving forward, we're going to add water. Let me grab some water real quick. And again, I have been making multiple jars of this morning, getting it ready for the season, but we're going to walk through this with you guys real quick. Just so you know, these 16.9 fluid ounce drinking water bottles are exactly 2.5 cups, but I'll go ahead and show you in measurement. So we've got 1 cup, and I'm discussing 2.5 cups because that's exactly what we add to this formula in the quart jar. Okay, 2, and then we've got a half cup left. Okay, so there's 2.5. Set that aside. I'll have the other one here pre-measured, obviously, with the 2.5 cups. We're going to add just somewhere between 3/4 and 1 cup of either canning or pickling salt. Okay, which I have here, or we can use kosher salt. We used rock salt last year. One thing about rock salt is it takes a little bit longer to dissolve, so it can at times, get behind in the curing process, for lack of better words. The pickling salt's definitely a finer salt, and there are other reasons that I do choose to use pickling salts when it comes to iodines and things like that. But in the moment, I'm going to keep it simple and just tell you that canning pickling salt or kosher salt, which is just basically canning pickling salt but a little bit more coarse, either works in my personal opinion. But these formulas here, we're going to use them to kind of process a little quicker, if that makes sense. And then longevity, the lifespan of the shrimp tends to last a bit. So we've got 4 ounces of cure in each of these, 2.5 cups of water, and just short of 1 cup of canning and pickling salt. Let's talk shrimp, okay? It's really important. Last year we didn't talk about this. The shrimp themselves are a very much a key factor in this success of firmness, if that makes sense. So let's talk about this real quick. I've set aside a few shrimp, okay? First, okay, if we're just going to take frozen shrimp, add them to the formula, we're going to end up with these in the mix, and therefore we're going to end up with some soft shrimp, right? So this is a shrimp that has thawed, but look at the head on this thing, okay? I mean, it literally is that soft. It just peels right off, right? Look at this one. This head is completely soft. It's just spongy because you can just squeeze it. You see that? Just spongy. That will never make a firm shrimp, okay? This is spongy, okay? This one, horrific. I mean, it's so spongy. Even the body shell is so spongy. It's just terrible. So those, we set them aside. Certainly can still cure them. Use the tails themselves, on jigs, those sort of things for steelhead. So don't throw them away. Obviously, shrimp are expensive at $10, $11, $12, $15 a pound, depending on where you buy them. But you can always use those for steelhead or even for salmon if you're just tipping your eggs, tipping stuff and whatnot. So let's talk about the end result and what we're going to have here in the formulas we're using today. So here's 2 coon shrimp that I've done. I started these on January 12th. And again, I make, I don't know, 20, 30 quarts a year for myself that I set aside and I'll use and obviously give out to friends and whatnot, or giveaways or things like that. But you can see the shrimp on these, the heads are very firm, okay? Body's very firm. The whiskers, the tentacles, obviously I love those, you know me. I've expressed that over the last calendar years, okay? So now that we've got these mixed up, we're gonna toss the lids on. We're gonna give them a shake, okay? Get the lids on tightly. We don't want this stuff spilling in the house. It would be one heck of a mess. I've had one person reach out that I think dropped one in the garage and it blew up, and not good. Dyes are very powerful. So I'm gonna do this in short. As you can still see the chemicals, okay? We just put the water in, there's been no time to dissolve. If you want to, you can expedite this process by mixing this up, setting it aside, allowing the water and these chemicals to dissolve before we add our shrimp, okay? That can help in expediting the process and getting our shrimp firmer quicker. Does that make sense? Because if it takes time, it takes a day or two, or even a little bit longer actually, to get all these chemicals to dissolve. And not all will dissolve, because some of those extra salts will sit in the bottom and stay. And that's telling you that you're at 100% salinity in your solution. That's super important to pay attention to, because if in fact you run out of salt or there's no more visible salt in the jar, you would want to add more salt. So there is no limit to the amount of salt that you put in, but 1 cup in the beginning often covers what we are choosing to do when we fill this up with shrimp, okay? If you have questions, comment, that sort of thing in the comments, and I can come back and answer those for you if you do have them. So we're gonna put shrimp in our jars and bring those over. And I've pre-laid them out and I've thawed them. A lot of guys have asked me questions, do I thaw shrimp or do I do them frozen? I do them frozen often because I just want to get it done, right? I've done thousands and thousands of shrimp over the years, but you will be adding soft ones into the mix, so you just got to sort through those. But I've got these all pre-thawed. I'm just going to load them up, as you can see here. Load them up. Just stuff them down in. And that's going to be just about it right there. I've got my solution coming to the top, okay? Just tap my lid. Just kind of move this around a little so the shrimp can settle in. All right, let it set for a second. And then we're going to add the bite stimulants, okay? What is it we like to do? You guys know me. Procure squid oil is probably my favorite, most favorite bait scent that's ever been made on planet Earth through my 30+ years of doing this. So that is number 1, okay? I always add Procure squid oil. And when I add it, give it a shake, okay? Give it a decent little shake. We're gonna go about a teaspoon, okay? You guys don't, I don't use measuring cups, right? Or often use measuring devices. I just kind of eyeball it. But the next one, I pre-opened this jar. Okay, this is bumblebee tuna in oil. It's very important that it's in oil, because what we have in these sort of chemicals in this cure is going to enhance the reduction of the molecular structure of the oils from the shrimp, from the bait, from the meat, from the tuna, from the oils that we're adding. We're going to reduce those to disperse those better through the water column. I think that's the shortest and easiest explanation as to the idea behind the Ultimate Shrimp Cure. All right, so we're just going to add about the same amount of oil. All right. This one I didn't use last year in any of the recipes, but I absolutely love garlic when it comes to salmon. I use a different sort of garlic, but Slamol itself has its own bite stimulants, okay? I have had great successes over the years. And again, we're just gonna use, you know, about a half of a teaspoon, not a lot. It doesn't take much, just about so, okay? Next favorite, Procure squid oil. I'm sorry, Procure squid oil. I'm so stuck on Procure squid oil. Procure pure anise oil. This Procure pure anise oil is extremely potent and powerful. I do like somewhere to the tune of 5, 6, 7 drops. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drops, okay? And again, if you go 4, if you go 8, you go 10, it's all kind of the same thing. Don't get hung up on it. But it is a very potent oil, okay, that I feel is a very, very valuable one. Now, here's one that I've used since I was, well, it would have been early 2000s, okay? Can't get it anymore because they quit making it. The company went out of business. But there are other cold-pressed garlics out there on the market, okay? The key word here is cold press. Now, I don't want to go too deep into this part of it. We're already at 10 minutes, but the cold press, 1 squirt of this garlic juice is the equivalent of 1 clove of garlic, is what the explanation says here on the actual bottle, right? So I just put in maybe a half teaspoon, okay? Just about that much. I cherish it. It's the last bottle of it that I have, but I will start exploring through the worlds of garlic and see what other ones that I can personally find that do the same job. Now, some runner-ups that I've been testing that I do feel have been so far extremely successful and showed me great signs of success, okay, as I've been testing them. There's a little shop here in town that they just opened another shop here in Rainier. This particular shop's in Woodland, but they come out with a powdered formula, okay? Anglers Unlimited came out with a powdered formula where you can do a fine sand shrimp, you can do a squid formula, an anchovy. These are the 3 that I currently have. They may have a few others. I haven't spent much time testing any of the others, but those are the 3 that my brain focuses on that I do prefer to use. I have seen great successes with the squid. So, yeah, if you get a chance, again, they're in Rainier in Woodland, Washington, Anglers Unlimited. Pretty cool little product that they made themselves and came out with. So, yeah. Here's the last thing, okay? Last year when we brought this to market, we had a lot of people come to come around to the Ultimate Shrimp cure up their Coon Shrimp. They tossed them in the fridge and they left them. Okay, it's really important that when you cure these shrimp, all right, that they are flipped on the daily. Now, you put them in the fridge, all right, and then you flip them on a daily. I started these on January 12, 2025. Another little separate formula that I make here in my own garage. Okay, I call it number 100. I added 3/4 cup of kosher salt to these, but these are what I shared with you up front. The firm ones. These are something that we're working on and gonna probably be coming out with next, all right? Just some other bite stimulants and chemicals that I've been working on behind the scenes. But all that aside, if you have questions, please do reach out in the comment section. My goal is to obviously assist each and every one of you, but please pay attention. Rotate these jars on the daily. So that means flip them in the fridge, okay? Flip them day 2, flip them day 3. That first 2 weeks, it takes about 2 weeks for these dyes and chemicals to set into these shrimp, all right? After about 2 weeks, you can kind of leave them for once a week, once every couple weeks. If you happen to be in your bait fridge, flip them and just keep the solution agitated. If you let things settle to the bottom and they settle in such fashion for a long period of time, the water itself will kind of soften the shrimp. So I had some people reach out last year, not a lot, a handful of people reach out that did have some soft shrimp. So start by sorting shrimp and then pay attention to flipping your jars and keeping them flipped. And I think that without question, you guys are gonna have some of the best shrimp for the 2025 calendar year. I'm looking forward to all the pictures, all these successes. Do post those photos on the Ultimate Shrimp Cure page. I would love to see them on the Ultimate Shrimp Cure Facebook page. And again, if you have questions, comments, whatever it may be, leave them here in the comment section. I will be responding to those on the daily. I wish you guys the best of luck. I know that 2025 is going to be an epic season when it comes to Drano, the Mouth of the Wind, the Big White Salmon, the Willamette River, some of the side trips down here in the Lower Columbia. We're going to be catching lots and lots of Spring Chinook, so be ready. And for the last thing, the Ultimate Egg Cure page, we got some giveaways. First person to post a Spring Chinook for after February 1st, 2025 here is going to get a $100 gift card from ProCure, as well as a sweatshirt, a hoodie with Ultimate Egg Cure hoodie. So be paying attention to that. If you happen to be that lucky guy that lands the first one, post the picture. Make sure you show some sort of evidence in that photo with the date so that we can validate it's a February 2025 fish. Excited to see who catches it. Don't count me out. I'll be trying. So good luck, guys. We will be bringing out another recipe or two as Spring Chinook season comes, but 2 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks, these things are dialed in, ready. Yeah. Look forward to seeing the successes. Talk soon.